Hi, I'm Jill.
And I'm Gianna.
And welcome to the We Watch It All podcast,
where we watch it all and give you our opinions.
AKA the opinions no one ever asked for. Welcome to season 17, episode 9, Loose Lips and Relationships. So it starts with Shannon over at the crew, which I thought was going to be
Let down.
A bigger thing.
Boring. Boo.
Right? Like, she just was like, well, if we're going to talk about relationships, and and then you got Vicky screaming from the other table, did I say something? Was it me? Oh, stop trying to get camera time, Vicky. She did nothing about it. She just said, if they're going to talk about my relationships, this is going to be a problem.
Huge. It was
nothing.
Boring. So much for the... No wonder they did the cliffhanger and they didn't make it into a whole episode.
I can't control that. Yeah, I don't know what the big deal was because she's worried about John getting mad that they're discussing, I guess, their relationship on camera, even though he is on camera. See, here's my problem with this. If you are dating somebody that is clearly known on TV or on the internet or any of the above, you can't ask that person, in my opinion, to not talk about stuff that pertains in their life because it's just going to be virtually impossible for them.
Yeah.
If you're choosing to take on somebody or to seek out somebody, or even if you didn't seek them out, but you find out that they're in this relationship, because I'm assuming most of them do divulge immediately, like, hey, by the way, I'm also on TV. Or if they don't, they should start doing that because it's one thing to... You don't have to film all the time. Like, once in a while, you'll get them out to dinner and whatnot.
Well, you don't have to have them come to dinner with you.
But here's the thing. Even if they do decide to do that and, like, keep it, like, minimal, you have to know that just because you're associated with this person, people may decide to dive into your life and see what's going on. And see what your relationship to that person is and this and that. So if that is not for you and you don't want your stuff put out there because they can't control that someone else is doing this, you should not be with them.
Yeah.
You really shouldn't. You should know that...
Well, the issue is the stuff they try to put out is usually bad stuff about the other person.
Well, it's either bad or it's fake, but you have to know. If you're not savvy enough to know, okay, if I'm dating somebody that's on TV or a celebrity or on the internet where everybody has an opinion, they will eventually get to me and have an opinion about me.
Yeah.
You have to go into it knowing that there could be potential backlash. So the fact that all of a sudden I'm sorry, but he's been with her for quite too long. Like, you can't be like, don't discuss our personal business. Maybe don't offer personal stuff about him, but it's virtually impossible for these girls to be on here and not discuss something. Although, I get it, she did discuss it with Heather and not on the show. Which, I don't honestly know how much she really... I feel like they're setting Heather up for a bad situation because it didn't sound like Tamara had that much to offer. Because when she came back to the table...
Like, she heard a lot from Heather, you mean?
Yeah, like, well, or that Heather really told... Because she made it sound like when Shannon walked away, Shannon's like, oh, my problem is that I opened up and I was at a vulnerable point in my life and I shared something that I probably shouldn't have shared. So there obviously was an instant moment or something
with, like,
that she actually shared, like, specifics. But the funny thing is, like, every time they talk about, like, Heather, like, when Tamara sat in, she's like, listen, I just want to let you know that, she did speak about your relationship to Emily and Gina. All she could say was that she said it wasn't good. Yeah. Okay, well, that's like saying, like, that outfit doesn't look good on you. Okay, well, anybody could see that maybe from the outside. She didn't say, she said that when you and John fought, you hit him in the back of the head and blah, blah, blah. Like, all they have on her is that
unless she did, she didn't say that, but I feel like
I don't know. It doesn't seem like it, because when they did show her talking about Shannon to those other girls way in the other episodes, I don't recall her getting into specifics. So she might have kept, like, what Shannon said to her secret, but she might have shared just the fact that I don't think they're in a good place. Yeah.
Tell you how they're doing.
Not well. But they're all going to egg her on to make her think, because she didn't even stop to think, well, what did she actually say? And when she said it, it was nothing. And then you got Vicky, like, redirecting back to the tequila, and basically... I don't think her and Heather landed on, like, left on a good note. I don't recall.
Remember.
But I don't think she's a fan of Heather, to be honest with you. But she kept saying, oh, she did. She betrayed you. She betrayed you. What are you going to do about it? She betrayed you. But she didn't really say anything. Yeah. So, like, is that really, like, because even when you dive into the scene where Tamara tries to set up Heather. Yeah. She doesn't really say anything. No. She says, what, do I look stupid? I'm never going to share nothing with Tamara. I know how she is, and she just became friends with her. She goes, I'm not sharing with her. So she kind of doesn't say anything. So,
well, at least not to Tamara, because she knows Tamara's got a big mouth.
So I thought that
But here's
was
my thing, then again, I think if she has the wits to know that Tamara has a big mouth, she has the wits to know that Emily has an even bigger mouth.
I think she knows all of them have a big mouth and realizes, like, let's not,
Yeah.
But I was just disappointed because she just walked away from that whole thing and it went nowhere. It was like, okay, well, if you're going to discuss it, then I guess you're going to discuss it. Okay, so then what's the point of running over to production?
Thing. I thought it was going to be
like how Heather was shutting down cameras and stuff at the first episode. Like, no, it wasn't quite like that. But
let's go back and drink.
Yeah, that's really where it went. And, so there's that. Then we have Shane and Emily, who are reminding us that it's fall in California and still looks like summer. I can't wrap my mind around it. I don't know if I could live in California with that. Like,
because it looks so drastically different, their pumpkin patch, to what we have here in New Jersey.
Right?
Like, and I always thought, like, when we watch the YouTubers and then they go to, like, the tree farms that are just set up in, like, a parking lot, that it was just, like...
Why? But no, there's a reason.
I'm like, oh, this kind of looks like something...
I think they have tree farms.
No,
and stuff
I know,
like
but
that,
it's not the same as here.
No, I know. If you were to watch, like, the east versus west, going to, like, a pumpkin patch, like, there are leaves on the ground, there are,
like
you're starting to see the turning of the colors, and
it has fall vibes. This just felt like they set up like a pumpkin patch.
Do the leaves not turn colors in California? I feel like I'm having a stupid moment, like, what's her name in Boston? Remember that, like, when she said that, and I'm like, no, allergies are everywhere, but, like,
different types of trees, though, out there, like, they have palm trees.
That's true, they only have certain,
they don't have, like, these are,
but I feel like there are areas where there's trees like that.
There are areas, but it's not in the OC.
Because I feel stupid about that, so I'm going to
This is embarrassing, we're so sorry.
No, but, so they're in the pumpkin patch, needless to say, and I think we've come to the conclusion that their kids understand what's going on now, what's mommy's job now, and that mommy's on TV. I think there's an Olivia moment here from Jen A in New Jersey now, where her daughter definitely gets mommy's on TV, and I could be on TV
too. Drum it up, let's go if you want acting and modeling.
No, but I don't think she has to. I think this kid gets it. She's not as blatantly obvious as Jen A's daughter in New Jersey, but she's getting there because she does put on, like, a little bit of a, like, more over the top than there should be. Like, I'd love to know how much footage is actually filmed and cut from that house, because there's got to be.
Oh, probably. I think it's just
like
over the top sensory overload with them.
Yeah, I mean, smart kid if you know, like, you want to be in this industry and stuff, use the platform, but it is what it is. But they, of course, start with their parenting styles, because Shane and Emily are just not alike. But I will say, when they go to dinner and they discuss it, I was very impressed, maybe say proud, that they were able to really, like, that was a real productive conversation as a couple. So I was pretty impressed with that. I don't know if they're doing that on purpose, or he's just, like we said, so much more relaxed and different now that he has settled the whole, like,
I think so.
Passing the bar and stuff.
More defensive.
Because I'm sure that was very stressful. Oh no, he was. If they ever had that, they would have conversations like that. He was not. It was not productive. But also, I think there was a couple times in reunions where he said he saw himself on TV, and he was not impressed how he looked. So he was going to try to work on it. But I think that stressor makes a big difference, taking that out. But, like, I get it. Like, her whole thing is that she wants to do a good job because she didn't really have parents like she wants to be.
They basically turned this pumpkin patch into, like, a connector for her storyline.
Yeah.
About, like, their parenting. That's literally Emily's whole thing this episode. She doesn't shoot anything with anybody else but Shane.
No, and I think that's the whole reason, is that she's trying to do, like, a family, like you said, bring the mother into the fold and how she's dealing with being a mom and a parent. Well, that's fine. I mean, that's your storyline, but she, at least I'm enjoying watching them two together for a change, instead of, because he still has his little witty banter that, like, as
has Emily crying in the pumpkin patch.
Yeah, he's not as mean as he was, but he still is getting his little jabs in, but not in as a bad way, like where they're passing in. He's like, oh look, there's a scarecrow. No wait, I'm sorry, that's mommy or whatever. But yeah, he did make her cry in the pumpkin patch, like you said. But he pulled it together. Like, that's what I was pretty impressed. Like, instead of making fun of her or anything, even the daughter came over and she's like, what's going on? Why are you crying or whatever? So they did pull it together. I think that's what we're gonna get now, is just, a lot of family content from them. But you know what? As long as they keep it witty, I'm not like upset about it. I'd rather watch that than Gina. I hate to say that, because Gina, I'll get into that. I just feel like some of Gina's footage is just there to remind us that she's not dead.
I actually do have some thoughts on Gina too, but I'll save it for once we get to that scene.
So Tamara and Jen. Here's the only thing. Jen is definitely not the typical housewife, I think, because she is willing to solve all the problems. Like, and I think Tamara does not know what to do with that.
Yeah, I think it throws her off a little bit.
I definitely think it throws her off. And the other thing is, do we not know if she has a brand deal with Fendi? Because, my God, I have never seen more Fendi outfits, from exercise outfits to jackets to
maybe she's trying to get one.
Maybe, I don't know. So this is unseen footage, or never before seen footage, whatever it's called. And they just basically discuss Jenn's husband when he comes back into town, and like, where does he sleep? And it is a little weird. I just want to know what the criteria for picking the never before seen footage, and what isn't, because there's some footage that I thought should have been piled into the never before seen.
Like, I wonder if they, I mean, I guess maybe they make one episode, they make a whole episode, then they go over a little runtime of like footage that they think they would like to keep in, and they send it to like,
I don't know. It was very random, and that was thrown out there very randomly. But I don't know.
I feel like that would have been at least interesting for normal footage.
Yeah,
because like, once again, like, they cut a lot of this stuff out about her and her past husband, her and the husband now. Like, they're all never before seen with Jen.
It's just very weird. Like, how they thought. Maybe they thought it was too much. I don't know. But they go back into this fight again, which I'm kind of glad that Jenn, like I said, is the type of person that wants to squash all this stuff, because she does shut it down. She gets it in, gets it out, gets it done, move on. She goes into about, why they keep going back and forth, and Tamara said she wants to make it work with Jenn, of course, and Jenn is still saying, like, she thinks she's missing something, like what they keep all referring to. She's not really sure what they want from her in this thing, because she's like, it's my business, and I mean, and I get that.
Yeah, like, what is the end goal? Like, what is?
Yeah, I don't get. I mean,
to get not divorced, but break up. I guess.
I don't know. They just keep saying that they're concerned with her in this relationship. So I understand, but it's really not your place. I guess maybe she
could just say, like, have my I'll keep my wits about me. I don't really know. Like, that is.
I don't know. And Tamara keeps
saying
that should
be a question, Andy. What was the goal?
Well, that's what she keeps. But she says it in her confessionals instead of to her. Like, I don't know.
Well, maybe she didn't like really think about it.
I guess.
Because like, just now, I'm like also like really thinking about it. Like, what is her goal? Like,
I
don't know
what such
a
thing that you keep bringing up.
Obviously, it made sense when she was trying to get Vicky away from
Brooks,
yeah, because he was hurting her and all these like.
But
different,
they seem like they seem.
Hi,
baby.
Hi, Q.
They seem like they're fine.
Yeah,
and
like,
that their relationship doesn't seem like there's any problems.
Going on.
Yeah, like, that's what I'm saying is, like, I could see if they were having like she was coming with concerns about him, but
yeah, or like she's not really even talked bad about him either. No. So it's like,
even when Heather and Tamara were talking about it in the store, and it first came up, all the cheating and stuff, like,
she didn't seem fazed by it.
No, it wasn't like something that she was like bringing
I can't
up
believe
to
you did
them.
This. Yeah.
Yeah. But, Tamara's saying that she wants to also move past the situation in her sit-downs, but then she said her opinion about Ryan hasn't changed. So, I mean, I guess as long as you're willing to, like,
let it go,
stop judging her in a relationship, you have to accept it. You can have your opinion about the guy and think that he's, not on the up and up, but, I mean, Jenn is very, like I said, very uncharacteristic of a housewife to, like, constantly be trying to settle, like,
on and actually move on.
Yeah, well, like, what she did say that I thought was really nice was she said, I think she said it actually to Tamara. She's like, I know who you are, and I know, what kind of person you are, and I'm not going to not, like, fight for our relationship. Like, this is not a deal breaker. Like, she was saying, no matter what, this is not going to stop them from being friends.
And usually if you talk about the husband, that's where it ends.
Yeah. So, at least that's not really her husband, so I don't know.
Well,
I know. But Tamara suggests that she's going on a boat with John and Shannon, and she suggests to Shannon that they invite Ryan and Jenn.
Which, once again, what did we just say? Was it last week, week before? No more boats.
Yeah, well,
boats are always a bad idea.
And you know what? And they're not really on the boats for long periods of time. It's just really
like
mere
a car
transportation.
Ride.
Yeah,
it's
like
you
mere
ride
transportation.
there just to get there. Because I was like, I thought they were going like just like they were gonna go like on the boat, and maybe have like a little something to eat, and then like have, I did not know they were going to restaurant. I don't know. That's
here we go
every time
again.
I see that, I'm fascinated by it, because it's just, I don't feel like, maybe it is something we could probably do in New Jersey.
Yeah, no, it
we
is.
do have a lot of
I've
bays
done
here,
it.
but
yeah, in the shore you do it.
I've only been on
but there's
one
not
boat,
many.
though.
But look, there's not here where they are. I guess there's more.
It
docks
just looks
along,
like
where there's more restaurants and stuff like that. Where in the shore it's not as much that can get up to that shoreline, but there are a few. There definitely are a few.
Also,
on the inlets.
They do not have hurricanes the way we do, so I think that might be why.
Yeah, it could be too that you don't have too much, but it's more the inlet. Like when you come inland, that you get like.
No, I was like, I noticed it's like people
in the
are
Bay
docking.
areas.
It's like, how do you know if you're gonna have a spot at the? Oh, that's I guess you would have to reserve it.
Yeah, I think you do have to call ahead. To be honest, with
I'm fascinated by this now.
Yeah, I think you have to call ahead, and they kind of try to hold it.
It's all seafood too. Have you noticed that?
Well, of course. That makes sense.
Well, I guess that makes sense, but I'm just saying.
Well, they seem to order all seafood, but
freshly just caught outside the bay. Did you see him over there? He fished that out.
Probably. But she also makes a bold statement that I think she won't live up to, but I think she should try to, Tamra, that she's giving up tequila because tequila is not her friend.
I had some thoughts on this.
She's passing it off to Emily.
Did she make this before or after the Tres Amigas?
Yeah, I know, because that's,
because it's like, did you have the thought after you guys had
or
the
maybe
fight?
She's just saying, like, you know.
Like at group events?
Yeah, one and done.
That's because that's what I was thinking. Because I'm like, you were just pounding back shots with the Tres Amigas here. Yeah. So you and... Oh, we did watch the mid-season trailer. It doesn't look like those shots actually go away.
No, I don't think they do. I think she lied on that one for sure.
It's a good idea, but it's alright.
Good luck with that. Not once Vicky gets in the scene, because Vicky will push those tequilas. And we get the first look at Tamara's horribly bad sit-down outfit and makeup. Apparently, somebody said, and I'm waiting for everybody else to get theirs.
Bright colors.
Somebody said, can we have a bright color that matches your eyeshadow? Because you have...
She had blue eyeshadow on too?
Royal blue eyeshadow. It wasn't as bad as Gina's, but Gina's goes all the way into the corners of her
eyes. Yeah, I was really getting a
look
at Gina's eye makeup.
It goes into the corner of her eye and comes down under her eye. But Tamara's is just blue eyeshadow. And I don't know if it's the straight hair. The outfit looks like a little bit of a skater's outfit. Like, I get where she's going with it. It has skate? Because it has like cut out like sheer parts. And I don't know, it's not the most flattering. So that she
hates almost every confessional look she's seen.
So far there, yeah.
You know when I don't like, since you've a bad mouth everyone, I'll bad mouth one. I don't like the one that Emily has that headband on.
I don't like that one either.
I don't like that one. It's just a headband. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a big headband person.
Here's the thing. The funny part is a lot of the ones that I don't like in the past like seasons, they've come back and said, what the hell was I thinking? Yeah, we thought that too. What the hell were you thinking? Did you not get to see that? I don't know. So the next is basically a commercial. I'm sorry. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's my girl, Heather. I don't like to talk like that about her because I am a big Heather fan. However, I'm not going to lie. My girl is here just for promotion. She is season 17 Heather's promotions. That's what she's calling it.
I gotta pay for that LA.
When she wrote this, no, she doesn't. What? No, 65 million? She ain't gotta pay for shit.
That's probably why she bought that other house in LA too. She still probably has money left over.
No, without a doubt. But I'm sure when she wrote down in her notebook things that she wants to do, it says season 17 promotional tour.
Season 17 storylines.
Yeah, promotional
Fireside
tour.
Promotion.
Yeah.
Spill on Shannon's secrets.
I don't
apologize.
even
Unbelievable.
Well, I think that's why she is apologizing, because she's like, I got to just stay focused on my task.
I have a goal here,
which is my job.
Yeah, and in that podcast room, it's just on the bit. There's like a big whiteboard in there. It just says Fireside Promotion. Don't stop.
Yeah, because I mean, this one is just. It really was unnecessary to be in there. It was her meeting with Mark Cuban just to talk again about Fireside. But the funny thing is, they showed her saying Fireside a lot.
I know, that's what I was going to say.
They definitely didn't show all those.
She never mentioned this Fireside thing till this, which I was like, listen, I always love when they do that because they did the thing with the sorry. But I feel like it would be one thing if we actually knew about the Fireside thing before this. I was
just like, okay. But then they showed her, I guess, saying it multiple times to multiple people, and apparently it's a platform where the audience can be interactive. And I looked it up, and it says something like it's a cross between Clubhouse and Spotify, where like you'll get let into it. I don't know, it seemed very confusing. I downloaded it just to see what it is, so I'm curious. I don't know, but clearly she's here.
So it's kind of like, I guess, like a live stream.
It is. It's about
it's like a live podcast.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? Not for nothing, but we interrupt each other enough. I couldn't have you folks jumping in. You know how long this stuff would be?
Oh my god, we never get it done.
No. And it's supposed to be like...
It's like a live virtual show.
It's supposed to be a live show, but supposed to have more professional aspects of it, like intro music or something they were saying, but they were saying that it's still in the testing phase and it's not as smoothly done yet.
I don't want to knock you here, Heather, because you go ahead, partner with your billionaire. But essentially, maybe we couldn't do it on Spotify or Apple Music, but on YouTube, you could do a little cue card, a little intro music cut, and now there's videos of us talking, and then you could bring the comments like up on the screen. Like, I have an idea of how you could actually do that, but I guess maybe this is more for like an intermediate beginner of more. Like, do you know what I'm trying to say? For people who don't really have, I don't know.
I don't know how
I'm not really sure, but
I don't really get how it works, to be honest with you. So I'm curious to see what it's like, actually. But yeah, that was just her promotional thing, and then we go into scenes that make no sense once again of Gina and Jenn. They just show up shopping at Coco and Carmen's, where they talk.
Took the name.
Yeah, I took note of the name. It was on a hanger because they stared at it for a long time. It was like, come on now. Talking about her real estate license and how she is getting back in, she's...
Which, isn't this like the same conversation she just had with the husband later, though? Like, yes. Pretty much exactly
and
the
same. And the episode before that, where somebody said about getting her real estate license, that's why I'm saying, like, I think sometimes they just put her up there to show that she is still alive and living in Southern California, because I'll
get to my opinion in a second here.
The only thing that was really worthwhile, I guess, throwing in there was the fact that although she doesn't like how her marriage ended with the husband, Jenn, Gina says going forward from that point they do have a lot in common, where they're trying to start their lives over and build a business and do different things. But here's the funny thing: is like she's got that Garragelli or whatever that.
Oh my God! The Garragelli
or whatever the hell it is, but she never speaks about it. So I don't know if it's
really.
She said she was, but I don't know if it's really like her company or something she invested in.
Maybe she started and sold it off.
I don't know. She said she still had it, but I can't figure it out. So she doesn't speak about it at all, which cracks me up.
I forgot all about that Garragelli.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, and the only other thing that gets thrown in there is that Jenn was saying she's a little concerned about going on the boat because she hasn't really truly sat down and spoken with Shannon, and she never met John, and it's uncomfortable Eddie and Tamara still. So I mean, that's really the only thing that got in there. And again, another scene right after that doesn't, I guess, make sense is we're at Box House with Tamara, Heather, and Jenn. Jenn gets around, I'm not going to lie. She's been in multiple scenes. I want to say she's almost in every scene except for Emily's.
Well, nobody's in Emily's scene.
Yeah, no, because Emily's just on her own. She makes it feel like she lives far, far away from everybody.
I know. Like, you're thinking really it's next season and Heather's in LA. Like, kind of. Maybe she does. Maybe she lives on the outskirts or something.
I don't know.
I don't really know. But you know what's so funny? Watching this boxing stuff, and sometimes when you watch the Housewife workouts, listen, I don't want to discredit them, but sometimes it looks like they're just like,
yeah, they're not. Well,
they're not working out. Where I'm like, are they doing like a dumbed down version? Because it makes it look like this Box House.
Here's the thing,
which would be interesting to me as someone who's into boxing. Where I'm like, I don't know if I want to go there.
Looks like it was broken.
I don't like. Yeah. I'm like.
I think literally it was a couple of moments of clips, and then I don't even know what they were.
Because he's like, let's do jumping jacks, and they weren't even really doing jumping jacks. They weren't even doing like the alternative, like ones that we do sometimes in the gym. It's like, I was just like, what are we doing here? I guess they don't want to sweat too much though, because they have to film a nice
honestly,
scene.
I think this was just another way of getting them together to discuss.
To try to throw Heather under the bus.
Yeah, kind of to see if we could throw Heather under the bus. Heather to discuss that she's buying a new place in LA, which I don't think she really needed to do that because she did have the whole discussion later with the husband, but I think she just was making conversation, and Tamara said she was going to test her. And I'm like, what is going on with Tamara? Like, is she not friends with Heather?
But at least she was.
Or is she pretending to be friends with Heather?
Know.
Well, no, she did. She said it in a confessional. It wasn't
That's
like
she said it.
But I'm
at
like,
least, but sometimes they would just say stuff. But I kind of like this like insight where it's like, yeah, no, this is what I'm doing. Like, I'm testing her, and I like that Heather was like, I know what she's doing. Like, I know the game she's playing. I'm not stupid.
I do like that, in front of
like that
Jenn
insight.
And stuff. Yeah, I think she knows what she's up to and stuff. So I mean, but to me, it's like the whole Gina, Jenn, Heather, and Tamara scenes. Like, they're weirdly placed for me. Like, these are just weird blurps of weird stuff that.
And you know what? You know what? I'm gonna say this. Watch next week or next 2 upcoming episodes. We'll probably see flashbacks that would have been like around these same days or something that we missed.
Probably of like.
That's what I'm betting.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, I'm sure they can't be just like that. Just can't be it. But I do feel like sometimes like it's like why do we even bother to go there just to break it up so then we can come back to Emily and Shane? I mean, I don't know, but we do go back to Emily and Shane going out to dinner, and I feel like I've seen them at this restaurant before. I don't know if it's a frequent place for them, but I feel like I've seen them at that particular table at that restaurant. I don't know if it's just the way they always sit. like where she's there.
Maybe it's something
to
like
the right of her. I don't know.
Yeah, but maybe it's just like an easy camera setup table. I'm not really sure.
Could be, but I feel like I've seen them there before. But they go on discussing about how they're handling parenting and how they're so different, and
like a little bit of like an extra add-on from their. Basically, they're finishing their conversation from the pumpkin patch.
Yeah, but now they're like privately discussing it, and I mean, I have to say, I was very impressed with how he responded to her comments. But I think she also didn't come attacking him, which probably helped. Like, she gave a little more clarity and explanation, but he also gave her the ability to do that. Before, he used to jump on her too. So I think they've learned to like give it a minute. Let's see what so and so has to say, and I think they're actually going to be one of the couples that might make it, because I was honestly concerned.
They renewed their vows.
No, they just took pictures.
Oh,
remember they did those pictures?
Interesting.
Because they never got the pictures or something, but I think they were supposed to, and I don't think they did. I think they just took pictures, and that might be what's their saving grace. Don't do the vows, folks.
Just the pictures.
Because I was really concerned maybe a season or two ago that these two were not going to make it.
Especially in COVID.
Yeah, I was really not quite sure.
My favorite thing, though, is she says, "Oh, I think you're so funny." And it's like, did he not just make you cry in the pumpkin patch with his jokes, though?
No, well, that's what I think she was trying to say was, I was attracted to how funny he is and his sarcasm and all like that, but sometimes when you have to discuss serious stuff, it becomes very hard with someone, and it is with someone like that that's always cracking a joke. But I think that's where he I think is also trying to find like the common ground of like, okay, too much, but this week, And then we go to another couple that's just bizarro, Gina and Travis. I'm not really sure what went on in this scene, to be honest with you, because one minute she's putting cookies in the oven, and I'm like, wait, where is she? And then I realized when you said that she's
where is she? She's putting
at a house,
cookies in this house.
But the thing is, she doesn't have her license to sell anything, so I don't know what she was doing there, unless it's like
it was a test. It was like a practice selling. That's what the title, like the little text on the bottom popped up.
Oh, okay, I didn't see that. Oh, okay.
But wasn't it only the husband that was there?
Yeah. There was a couple that was there that I guess she's working with. That's the real estate company that they're going to work with or something.
But that was a flashback, right?
Yeah, but I think it was only earlier that day. Oh, no, it wasn't, because she was wearing something different. She had no sleeves on in that jacket. Yes, I don't know. But I guess they were there, and then she was going back to show, like, how to do it. But I honestly don't know why you would make cookies and all like that for just a test with him.
Girl, she probably didn't even turn that oven on.
I don't know. She put those cookies.
She left and we never saw them again.
Well, that was the funny thing, is that then the two of them leave out the house, and there's no cookies, no nothing.
Next week she's going to come back and the house is going to be burned down.
Yeah, because she left the cookies in the oven. I this should have been never before seen footage.
You know what? I was really thinking about with Gina in this. People are always like, oh, housewives create businesses for a storyline. I'm rethinking that. I think housewives create businesses in case, because why would she want this all of a sudden? In case she got a warning, like, if you don't pull your weight this season, you are booted off. Yeah. Like, as in a sense of, like, I'm going to need a real job.
No, but she's usually
That's what I'm thinking.
But she's usually pretty good at pulling her weight.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, that I was just thinking, not just her, like, I'm thinking housewives in general, where, like, they are getting nervous that either they've been there for a long time and maybe they want to shake up the cast, or they are just, like, not being responded well by fans, like, maybe it's time for me to go, but let me quickly create a new business so that while I'm gone, I have something to support me with.
Maybe I
don't know. It was a little thought that I had, and I like when I saw this, 'cause I'm like, her getting this real estate license all of a sudden is so random.
Yeah, it could be that, and it could be just the fact that she
like
is
essentially
looking for a story.
It gives you a storyline, but it also does. Yeah. I'm like, I wonder if it is that.
So now we go into John and Shannon getting ready for their guests to come on the boat. Yeah. And that's where it's baffling to me, because she's acting like, oh, he doesn't want to discuss anything, but yet he wants to talk about what happened with Vicky, meeting up with Vicky. So he's okay with discussing other people's business, but just not his.
But was it like that, or was he just like, oh, how was your night? Like, how did it go?
Well, no, because he said something about meeting up with Vicky. Like, how was the first meetup, I guess, with Vicky or something. So I guess it's okay for him to discuss like other people, but he just doesn't want his business out. I don't know, but she is not about to go into anything that happened with those Tres Amigos.
Well, Amigos. My favorite though, the editing. Did you catch this? She goes, I don't want to tell John anything about that happened with the Tres Amigas last whatever night. And the editing cuts, and as she's saying that, here comes Tamara walking the door like they're trying to like foreshadow, like,
I know.
She might say it though, which I mean, hey,
yeah,
she always could. But I just noticed that. I'm like, that's so funny. Like, you may not want to, but
somebody
Tamara probably
else may
will.
bring it up. And it doesn't even matter because Tamara's got her own worries. She's worried about like seeing Ryan for the first time, and the dog Banks or whatever is clearly not trained according to John and is jumping all over everybody. So why would you not put him away? He's jumping on the furniture. He's making dogs look bad. I mean, or actually dog owners look bad that don't know how to help their pet.
Here's my thing, you probably had to, I don't know, I feel like you maybe put him away because you're leaving on the boat, like you didn't bring him with you, so.
I guess he's allowed to run around the house, but I mean, for heaven's sakes, when you got people coming in and like, I don't know if Tamara had like white pants on or something, but she had like a light colored top. I don't know. It was just very odd because one, they go outside and they start kind of like going over the fact that, you know, this is the first time they've seen Ryan and, you know, the whole picture that was floating around and all, and then all of a sudden you got Jenn and Ryan coming in and they just kind of walk in his house too, which I thought was a little weird. Like you didn't even hear like ding dong, nothing. It's just like, hey, and then the dog of course is jumping all over them and they're wondering why. I don't know. He didn't seem to do much with the dog. He just introduced him and said, hey, that's Banks. So very interesting, but they give a lot of editing pauses to show like, I guess like the tension.
Yeah,
once
like a lot
they're
of
on the
silent.
boat. Like, yeah, I'm like, I doubt it was that
My favorite
silent.
though is later on in the Never Before scene, they do talk about Ryan's outfit. That was like the first thing I noticed. I'm like, he looks like he's dressed like a DJ. That's what he looks like to me.
Well, here's my thing. I thought he had some kind of weird scarf around his neck.
I thought so first too, and then Tamara said it was his collar.
Well, I didn't realize it till she said that, and that was
I
already, they were
knee
knee deep on the boat. I thought he had some kind of weird scarf. I couldn't figure that out. And one that just didn't match the outfit. So I was like, okay, well, I know he dresses a little bizarre, so I was going to let it go, but...
Well, he stands out like a sore thumb when they all are in like this like yachting attire.
Yeah, they kind of all wear a little bit.
And he's dressed like a 20-year-old.
Yeah, well, it seems like he does that a lot.
And it's not even like Jenn matched it. Like, you know, each couple kind of match each other. No, she just lets him do whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah.
Which she said. The other ones got dressed by their wives and he did not.
She will not lay claim to that. But it was like weird because all of a sudden they went from like looking at them sitting on the boat to like
got
Heather
a commercial
and
it was like Heather and Terry.
Yeah, we didn't get the commercial. That's why it was weird.
Yeah. I don't know. That's Peacock glitched and we got no ads.
Yeah, thank you. But it was kind of weird because it like abruptly went to Heather and Terry in their discussion room known as the bathroom.
Oh my god. I like knew they were in the bathroom and then they did like a bit of a wide shot on them both and I'm like, they're in the bathroom on these leather seats with a fur rug on the floor having a conversation.
Well, she has a glass of Shams. Sure.
That's like you when you go to the bathroom and you're like, oh, let's plan out our day tomorrow. And I'm like, sure, let me roll the little ottoman over and sit out in the hallway and talk to you.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
It's like the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just my chair is not leather. I have a cotton ottoman and you have a porcelain throne.
And you're actually not in the bathroom because it's not big enough. It's like the extension room outside. It's okay. You know, we do what we have and we work with what we got. So they start discussing the new apartment, saying that they are basically in escrow, so they have to, I guess, move to the next step. And we come to find out what we already know is that they are selling their house.
Yeah.
And they got a call from Josh Altman and his wife that somebody is looking to move in there.
Isn't this what happened with the last house where they just said people are like, we're interested in your house and okay, bye-bye.
But people do that. People will do that. Like, if you have the money, like, if you're driving I know. Here, like, they'll say to you, hey, are you interested in selling your house? And real estate agents will actually do that. They will go to houses and they'll say, are you interested in selling your house? Because I can probably get you. No, I know, but
it's so ironic, I think, that it's, like, happened to them twice now.
Well, I mean, you see their houses. She lives behind 3 gates. So
and they don't
somebody that's very affluent and willing to
they had to get through the 3 gates.
$65 million.
They don't even know about the heated towels.
No.
Like, that's the more, like, you just were looking on the outside. You don't even know the heated towels. You don't even know about the etching in the window.
No, well, that's her personal etching. I wonder if she's going to take that with her or let it be, but I don't know. So they said they got a cold call about their house and that someone wants to offer them $65 million for their home. So, you know, they're not even on the fence. They're like, sure, let's do it. And I feel for her because in this scene, it was very interesting because you when you see people with these big houses, you wonder, who's dusting, who's vacuuming, who's maintaining, because
this
I'm
is
not
all
gonna...
she says when she watches like the Kardashians.
Well, because
especially.
I'm sorry, but it's like, I know how hard it is to clean this small place, but like keep it like clean. Like when I say clean, like who's doing the baseboards? Who's cleaning above the door jambs? Who's cleaning, vacuuming the floors? This is too big. I mean, Kim Kardashian has a freaking white house. Everything is white. Somebody's cleaning that crap. Well, yeah, like Heather said, her staff outnumbered her family members. And she had, like, what, 4 kids to the husband, wife? I mean, come on.
Well, now, yeah, it's just the 4 of them.
So
before it was 6.
No,
so
but I'm
even
saying,
still.
that's what I'm saying. But, like, that, so that's what the funny thing is that, like, her staff is outnumbering her.
You know what's crazy?
What?
Imagine being the 2 oldest and you come back and your room's gone, your whole house is gone.
Yeah, well, that's what's happening now. So at first they said they were just having the apartment as like a place for them to, like a landing strip for them when they had to go to LA. But
yeah.
I guess now they're going to just stay there. But didn't you just say something that
they just bought a house?
They just bought a house in Beverly Hills, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it may be like the LA place for work, but then Beverly Hills, because I don't know. I thought when they bought the LA apartment, it didn't have that many rooms.
No, I don't think
so.
It
might have only had enough for them and the 2 kids, but they probably want somewhere where now if the other older kids come home.
I think they still want a house, but they're
Beverly Hills is calling you.
But I think they're probably also not going to do what they did. Like I think she realizes this is, like she called it, a job. Like being the general manager of this house. It has to be.
This new house she got is cheaper, but I think she's still going to renovate it.
Yeah, but still in all, I'm saying, like, if you take things this big, you can't just, like, not keep up with stuff. Like, you have no choice.
Yeah.
You have to have a staff that is cleaning this place because it will get just a mess and dusty and whatever it is. So, yeah, she talks about how bad it is. And then they randomly throw in...
If you think about it, a dog could poop on the other side of the house and you would not notice it for days if you don't go over there.
They don't have...
I don't know. I'm just saying.
I think now they have a dog, don't they now?
I don't know.
I think
I'm
they
just
got
giving an example.
They got a dog, but yeah, true that.
Like, imagine that.
Cat goes into a litter box in bathroom number 13 and you
like,
never see it again.
Oh my God.
But then I'm
you
sure
go
if
in
they
there
had cats, they would have
rancid.
the cats would have their own room where they would go litter boxing. And they would never be in one of their bathrooms, I'm sure.
And it'd be like in the automated one, and you just hear like in the distance, litter box is full, empty the litter box.
Litter box being empty, that would be awesome. And then they go into some weird like little blurb about the daughter.
Yeah, that
cat,
was never
like,
before seen.
Yeah, she was driving, and I mean it was. I do like that kind of stuff because I like seeing people that are rich and stuff like that.
I think they did never before seen though because they said the daughter didn't like being made fun of.
I don't know, but I thought it was interesting, like seeing them do normal people things. I like
at this point, if this daughter failed the driver's test, you need to hire somebody to teach them.
Yeah,
because
that's embarrassing. But she failed the written too, is what they're saying. So
I don't want to say that wasn't that hard because I did just barely pass my written. So
did you? I don't think you did.
I think I cleared it by 5 points.
Oh, you always act like you're rattling off the rules of the road, so I don't know how you don't know them.
It was my anxiety. The test guy kept walking up and down the aisle watching us while we did it.
But you were in school.
We did it in the auditorium. We each had to sit on on the end on this little thing, and it wasn't comfortable. I have big thighs, so the little table wouldn't come down all the way, so it was kind of pinching my thigh. It was, I think it was mostly my anxiety, but I do know the rules of the road. They gave me the license.
Jesus Christmas. Oh, now we're back on a boat. It's from the car to the boat. So we're on John's boat, and they're passing by Nobu, and I really thought this was when they were going to dive into what was going on, because Shannon mentions, oh, there's the scene of the crime, and, like, I don't know who says it. Somebody's like, oh, what happened there?
Eddie said, who was attacked?
Who was attacked there, and Jenn
just goes,
she's
me.
like, I was attacked, but they kind of just, like, let it go. But
because then they put the awkward cameras, like, oh, it's now awkward silence.
Yeah, then they went back to that.
I don't believe that they did not talk the whole way there.
No, I don't either. I think they just did that for dramatics. And listen, after watching Love Island, I totally know that they do not put things in the order that is done, because I just watched while you were away, the one girl, they went into this room and there was rose petals, and they acted like she just entered the room. Meanwhile, she had rose petals stuck on her, attached to her clothes, which meant she sat down on that bed.
Yeah.
No, I haven't gotten to the point where I see her sit on the bed, but they were showing them looking through this closet, and I'm like, okay, there's no way she has rose petals on. She had to sit down, and then it got, like, attached to her outfit, so I'm curious. But I clearly see nothing is filmed.
Love Island's easier to see because they do a lot of the faraway shots. Where they can keep the closer up and, finagle it a little better.
Yeah, they try to, either they're cutting stuff
their
out,
cameras are stationary, so they can only do so much with it.
But you clearly know that they do cut some stuff, and they, like you said, the time where they brought in Tamara to make it look like she was going to come in and say something. So
yeah.
That
was straight edited.
Yeah. So now they all, they get to the restaurant, they're sitting, and we're just waiting for, like, when is this elephant going to drop? And, because
I guess it's, like, weird, because you don't want to talk about it in front of John, because he doesn't really know, and it's, like, Shannon's not really involved.
He made that comment, too, like, oh, I don't really, like, I think I shouldn't have been here for half of this conversation, but they do dive into the clothes
that was
situation,
never before seen as well.
Yeah, which was kind of interesting, because you see that they have the most awkward conversations, but they do dive into, like, him mentioning his shirt, and then before you know it, it goes into who dressed who, and that Eddie and John were dressed by their women, and apparently Ryan dresses himself, which makes total sense. Jen was not, because
he dressed like a child.
She was not taking credit for that at all. And I think it was Tamara that said something about him dressing like a Backstreet Boy. I don't know. Notice that Eddie was ordering food, like two orders, but I don't know if it was for Tamara or just because he knew it was like a small thing that should be ordered twice. I couldn't figure that out, because I thought they were just ordering appetizers.
They were supposed to be just ordering appetizers, but I don't really know.
So whatever they ordered, it did look interesting. It was like
I don't remember.
I think it was like a deviled egg that was like piled high or something. It was something like that. It was like, because they said something about look at those eggs, and it was like a deviled egg.
She's a devil-egg girl.
Yeah, I used to love that. That was piled high, and Eddie said something to the effect of, like, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get that in my mouth. And Ryan says, oh, why don't you show them how it's done, hun, or something. So before you know it, like, I'm like, oh, okay, here we go. We're moving. So she tells him, like, to be quiet, and then he comes back with, like, well, you've seen my picture, haven't you? And I think Tamara said, oh, are we gonna go there or something, like, are we gonna address that?
Yeah.
And before you know it, it's like you think they're going down that path, and then you see John whispering something to Shannon about having to go to the restroom.
Well, Shannon says, I'm going to go to the bathroom, and then he's like, well, I'm going to go with you. I think he just didn't want to be
left. Well, I don't either. I think he figured, perfect opportunity, let's get the hell out of here. And, which, I mean, it did make sense. Let them leave, because they realized this was not something for them. So instead of going into this whole picture thing like you thought they were going to dive deep into, they start talking about, well, Brian says something about maybe I'm wrong. Tell me if you caught this. He said he had to apologize to Eddie. He said, I have to say I'm sorry to you.
Yeah, and I was like, started like apologizing.
Yeah, and I thought, I'm like, okay, maybe this is going to go a whole different way than I'm thinking. But he said something about that someone told, because he said, I heard that someone told you something. So I guess it was what was told to Eddie about him wanting to.
Yeah, like he was apologizing whether it was true or not.
I think it was.
It was just an apology for the rumor being spread, I think.
Yeah, because I think he said, I heard that someone told you something. He's like, but yet I feel betrayed by you, like gesturing to like Tamara, that, she went and said all this stuff. So I do think, like, I think we made a comment last week that it's this Heather girl that is causing all the trouble, because Eddie went into it saying, listen, I was told, which makes perfect sense, and I could see why Eddie would believe this. He's like, I was told that you like to go after married women, and then a month later you end up with Jen. So I was not surprised when somebody's going to come and tell me that you said something about my wife. He said, so the conclusion would have to be drawn.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. I mean, I see where Eddie went with this, that it must be true. But granted, you shouldn't always, you shouldn't jump the gun. But
it's might be a weird coincidence. It could be,
yeah. So he was trying to say that was not true. And in the meantime, like, you see just like Shannon and John.
Appears like, Shannon just like again. Like, here they are.
Appears and like slinks into the chair. Like, literally, like, she like slides down quietly, like, I don't want to disturb this, but I'm going to get back in here and eat my food. It was very weird. But Eddie asks him about cheating on his wife, and he admits that he did cheat on her, and he denies that he ever said anything about Tamara. And this is where they get crazy, because like Tamara, instead of like just taking a minute and listening, like he started to say, so I'm not trying to say anything bad about you, but I was told that when you were on the treadmill and I walked in one time, you said that, oh, Ryan's hot or something like that, which is fine. It could be nothing. And he said, so I think, he was told that by the Heather girl. He feels that she's the one, like we said, that's starting all this trouble, that she's bringing all these rumors to the table. And I think she probably is.
When she told him that, he said, oh, yeah, Tamara's hot. So I think now she took that, interpreted that,
And said that he wants to get with... Yeah, interpreted.
That's not right.
And interpreted.
Interpreted.
No, interpreted.
Interpreted.
Yeah, that's what that meant. Which, granted, I guess you could take it and run with it if you wanted to be that kind of person, but I don't think he meant that either. I think he just meant the same way Tamara said, oh, yeah, he's a good-looking guy or whatever. So it just was ridiculous. But the one thing that I will say is that Eddie was trying to say, we're friends with you, but we've been friends with Jen longer, so we worry for her. And we don't want you to cheat on her or do anything that's going to hurt her. So he's saying that he has never cheated on her, but when they had a break, he did, I guess, get with someone else. But the funny thing is that Jen actually says, I do feel like I was cheated on in a way, because if you were with me and you were that, into me and all like that, I don't think you would have rushed to do something like that the minute we had a break. Yeah. So she is basically saying what Tamara and Eddie are trying to fight for her for, is that they feel like, I guess, not that he did actually cheat on her, but the fact that she feels like it is enough.
Yeah. Because
it's still the same thing. You still got,
I mean, I guess if it's in the past, though, I don't know.
I guess you have to let it go, but I guess that's where the problem is, that she must speak on this. Yeah. And say this to people, and that's because I'm like, there's no way that Tamara and them are just like coming out of nowhere.
Well, she might have spoke to it with them when it was happening in the
moment.
That's
what I'm thinking, yeah. And because now she's on the show, here we go.
I think maybe Jen doesn't get the idea of storyline. Mm-hmm. And I think Tamara's like trying to be like, I have the storyline for you, take it and run with it. Yeah, but... And it's like... But Tamara did at least look like she kind of had the realization, like, oh, the other Heather. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she kind of looked like she grasped that, like,
Yeah, I think she gets it now, too, that this girl is the one causing the problems. Yeah. Possibly. And then it kind of just, like, dies down, and they all agree to, like, okay, like, we're good. Like, let's just squash it, and we'll see if it actually goes away. But, I mean, was it never before seen footage about the mom?
I don't think so.
No, I think that was sadly put in there, that the mom, somehow they started...
Oh, wait, maybe it was.
How did they get into the mom?
I don't know. All of a sudden, I just looked up and they were talking about the mom.
They mentioned the mom or something like that, and that the mom has a younger boyfriend.
Yeah, we already knew about this from the first episode.
Yeah, but I didn't realize that mom was 72 and the boyfriend was 54. Like, that's some significant age difference when you're...
Yeah.
Like, that would be like me. I can't think of myself as a 72-year-old, but I don't know. Mom does keep herself in good shape like Tamara, so... But it's like they ended this one weird. Like, sometimes they're, like... It's like cliffhanger, then just, like... Then it's just, like...
Less weird.
Phased out. I don't know.
There was, like, the previews for us. I don't really know, though.
Maybe. I don't know. It is weird.
But I don't know, because all that would do was go, like... next week on.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I don't know if that would really...
It's like all of a sudden, like, they're in the middle of something, and then the funny thing is, like, I'm taking notes, and then I'm like, I see the little words come across the screen, like the little credits, yeah. And I'm like, okay, we're done. I guess we're done. So, like, just let's wrap it up. I don't know. It's weird. So, okay. But there you are. She said it was boring.
I said it was boring?
I thought you said you were bored with it. What's it?
Because here's my thing, they hyped it up with the Shannon cliffhanger.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And you get left and you come into like 2 seconds, which that scene could have easily been deleted. See, it was just a lot of like nonsensical things.
They did resolve a lot of, or they're acting like they resolved, like Jen resolved her situation.
Yeah, that was like
Eddie
good,
but is it going to be resolved really? Is it going to be let go, or is it not going to be let go? Is the question we'll have to wait and see. And I think
also it's like I can't be hyped up for next week because they don't know what's going to happen next week. I know. I can never find the sneak preview anywhere online for us even to watch. That. It's like, ugh. So I don't know. So yeah, I just feel like I'm like now I just have to imagine what could happen next week. You only get one or the other.
Either get never before seen footages or the preview.
I don't need that. I'd rather the preview and skip over Gina saying not Gina. Which one? Emily needs a taco. Okay, I could just skip over that.
But you have so much content with Emily Needs a Taco. How could you not have that scene?
That's all for this week, folks. Come back next Monday for the next episode. We do Real Housewives of New York every Wednesday, and we do Crappy Lake on Thursday. And check out our other podcasts. We talk about it all. We upload every other Friday. This Friday, there will be a new one.
What it will be about, nobody knows. But I have some ideas that we have to discuss.
Okay. Yeah, let's not say anything because we make promises and we don't keep them.
I know. They're not formulated enough to discuss now.
She's got to concoct these ideas.
Yeah, it's just an overall.
Okay. Well, hopefully you'll leave us a good rating. If you're on YouTube, give us a thumbs up. Don't give us a thumbs down. Instead, leave a comment telling us how we can improve. Subscribe, follow, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any episodes. That's it.
Yeah, we will not be on Fireside, so fret not.
Maybe. Exclusive podcast till on Fireside. Hello to bro.
Never know.
At least needs to cover a month of rent. That's all we need. Month of rent and cat food.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, I really only work to feed the cats, but that's neither here nor there.
Their food bill is higher than ours. We won't say what. That's embarrassing. That's like embarrassing.
It is actually.
It's like embarrassing. I wouldn't like if somebody was like, say it. Not unless you're paying me to. I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's
we're waiting on you here now. I guess.
All right. Yeah, hit the button because I gotta go. Hit the button.